Labels are like banks, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how you gotta look at them.
But nowadays, I mean, from doing research, I feel like every deal is a 360.
You know, there's no money in selling your music. Everyone can get it for free online.
You're not gonna make bank just off of streams and stuff like that. So it's
Buddy Mylez, artist, songwriter, producer. You can throw engineer in there as well.
I go by Eman Musik, engineer, producer. On the side, I do a little bit of Facebook influencing.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Karel. I'm from the Bronx. I'm an artist, songwriter, producer in the making.
I'm Julie Viscardi-Smalley. I teach in the Sports Entertainment Event Management Department here at Johnson & Wales. And my area of expertise in teaching here is the entertainment industry and the music industry.
More people have access to quality, but it kind of hurt it because it made it so easy that any kid in his basement could just start making music, you know what I'm saying, without learning the principles and the mechanics of things. There's a whole flood of people trying to do music who might not have the experience needed to really do it as a career, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, for the people who didn't have access to it, now there's no more excuse, you know what I'm saying? There's really no more excuse to get quality.
They're able to create genuine music to themselves, like, you know what I'm saying, not emulating anybody else, because that's happening a lot too. Creating genuine music.
Now I make music for myself opposed to make music that's gonna sell, because if I was doing it to get a record deal, I would make music that everyone likes, not like, you know, everyone can like, you know, relate to, not so much relate to, but everyone can like, you know, bop their head to like a nice tune. But I just try to make music for myself. I try to make music for myself because like, not only is it something I love to do, it's therapy as well. Like I know many artists that feel like that. It's just therapy, and I make it for myself because then I'll be able to connect with people who actually genuinely really like me for me.
Got to sit in on all the sessions, which was so awesome, and give my input on the recording. And as a musician, I really appreciated them letting me do that.
Nowadays it's a little tough because everybody's, as people say it, fronting for the gram. So people will come to the studio, record themselves in the studio, not actually working. You have to put in at least 10,000 hours to become good or great at something.
I'd be lying if I said, you know, the money ain't matter. You feel me? That's not the incentive, for me at least, you know what I mean?
Unless you're like a Cardi B or, you know what I'm saying, one of a kind. For most artists, I would tell them straight up, don't rely on your streams to live off of that.
The floodgates are open now. So anyone with internet access can put out music and collect now. You know what I mean? So you can't be like, yo, man, you need to be paying 15 cents a sale. Nah, there's a bunch of people, anybody with internet access has this opportunity now to make money off music. You know what I'm saying? It could be the worst thing you ever heard, but if they're getting views, they're getting paid. You know what I'm saying?
The bridge needed to be made because like, for a while, only mainstream acts only got on those websites, and like you weren't able to put your music on anywhere but like iTunes, and like now it's just like streaming services where you can just stream it, you pay for your subscription monthly, and you're good after that.
The streaming money, the way that the numbers are placed, like I'm trying to think. I think I probably got like 1 million streams on Spotify, and that's probably, I want to say $6,000, $7,000.
If everybody bought into the subscription model, the actual per stream royalty would potentially go up.
Every artist wish that, any artist looking to make money would wish that you can make more off of, you know, any of these streaming services. But the fact of the matter is, it's just such an oversaturated market now. It's like, there's so much music out there.
Streaming money, to me, when I speak to artists, I tell them like it's good to have, but you would have to generate like 1 billion streams to be comfortable, you know what I'm saying, relying just on streams.
Everyone at present wants to make money, and some artists are recovering from everything that happened over the past like decade, 2 decades at this point. So
the money's gonna come. period. I don't stress myself over that. It's just me as an artist and thinking of my art and my craft, how can I get this to more people?
I'm looking to reach a new audience with these digital distributions because the people who listen to SoundCloud music or like, you know, they're just on Audio Mac aren't the same ones that are on Spotify, like iTunes and Tidal. Like, you know, I'm looking to reach a new audience because some people just listen to music from Spotify and follow a playlist and just go off of that. They don't really have a set favorite artist. They just listen to whatever's put on their playlist.
When I put my music out on these platforms, it's really to reach people that I won't normally reach. It's reach, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get a check. Whatever it is, that's what it is. But I'm thinking how many people I can reach. I'm not thinking, you know, I'm not doing math and calculating, none of that. I'm just like, yo, if Spotify has 10 million users, then I need to get at least 2 million of those people, and I'm fine with that, which is, you know what I mean? I don't, what is that, about 5%, 2%? I don't know, but yeah, so that's a small fraction of such a huge market, you know what I'm saying? If I could just get those people, but you know that this amount of people listen and use Spotify. So it's just really getting your music to people you can never imagine who you'd reach, you know what I mean, for me.
You can now just literally with DistroKid, upload your music and 48 hours later it's live, start making money right off of it. And it goes back to the whole point of you don't need the label for that. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of artists still have it in their mind that they need somebody, a manager, a label, or whatever, to do that for them. No, take that out the equation. You can do all that on your own. So you have the possibility of getting further along than most artists used to have back in the day. Like, you don't want to be signed.
They're gonna get all your money in a 360 deal. And then after that, it's like they have their part and you're left with little to nothing.
They're gonna cut you a check, they're gonna push you and put you in the public's eye.
I think it's always been a model where the label assumes or seemingly assumes the risk. The label is not going to assume as much risk that was going to make them tank, however, and contracts are worded generally, historically, in a way where the power is in the label's hands.
The more research you do, the more you realize, at least nowadays, like you said, they're not doing artist development anymore. So it's more of the record labels giving you a loan and they expect that money back.
The labels come in more when they see the results are like huge, you know what I'm saying? When it's lucrative, then it's like, oh, we want parts. We'll give you X amount to let us in. They buy themselves in pretty much, you know what I'm saying? So
that model, you know, has kept some labels afloat for a long time, but certainly new technological developments have changed that. Labels have had to change the way they're doing things. And so I think kind of my perception of what some indie labels are doing is that they are being more partners with an artist and allowing them to keep their copyright, for example, only keeping their recordings for a limited amount of time, maybe engaging in some artist development, because you're right when you say there is the pool of potential artists who might sign to a label might have a negative perception of what a label is. And you know, that's based on history over the 20th century when we have, you know, the record label come into existence and then start taking over potentially an artist's career.
Word from the A&R at the label, he's telling artists straight in front of me, like, you don't want a record deal right now. Work on yourself, build your following, your numbers. That's the first thing that they ask you. What are your streaming numbers? What are your followers like? The most important thing that a lot of artists nowadays fail on, how many people can you bring out to a show? But
when they do come into play, I guess one of the benefits, the biggest benefits is, you know, that they're a magnifying glass. They amplify everything. So, you know, if your reach is only 3,500, obviously a label can put you to an audience of 3.5 million people if they want. You know what I'm saying? They're the machine. I don't know if you ever heard that terminology, but when they say, yo, you got a machine behind you, because they press all those buttons to get you in front of a huge market.
Weigh the benefits of having a label on your side and what that label is, what their mission is, what their values are, and how they treat artists. Do research. See a lawyer. Don't sign without maybe even talking to another band that's on that label. Like, how's your experience been? How's it going? Like, do you like working with them? You know, have they made you money, or have they promoted your career the way you thought it would be promoted? And talking to other bands or artists would be a really smart thing to do. And certainly any legal document, get it looked at by your own lawyer.
it's better to do it on your own. That's what I advise everybody, if you can. You know what I'm saying? Do it on your own. Invest in yourself, because at the end of the day, if you do it that way, when you sit at the table, you have way more power. You know what I'm saying? You have way more say-so as far as how the terms and conditions are gonna go. But if you approach them and you're expecting a loan and everything and you haven't done the work on your end, they're gonna tell you what they expect and you gotta follow that. So once again, it depends on who the person is. If you wanna be told what to do and how to do it and how much you get paid and how much you don't get paid, then try to go for the record deal. But word from the A&R at the label, he's telling artists straight in front of me, like, you don't want a record deal right now.
You put all this hard work into it, but you really don't receive much back once you put your name on that dotted line. Now it's like they own majority of what you worked to, like, you know, get.